Liverpool feel a bit all over the place there, and it's like, it's just amazing how quickly it can change, and that's why, I love building into a new season and seeing what's going to happen, because no season's the same as the other, really. And I think if you look at like the Premier League side of things, I think Arsenal, with the continuity of Arteta and the players there, I think they've just sold Trossard, but the continuity that they should have with all those players in there and the manager, you've got to say they'll be favourites with Alonso coming in, Areola coming in at Liverpool, and it's just going to be a mad season. And just on a Liverpool point of view, I'm a little worried. I like the fact of having Areola. I like the idea of going back to a high pressing energy, free-flowing game, as I said earlier on in the video, about that kind of freedom of getting after people, that kind of Jurgen Klopp way of looking at football, of kind of running at people and get the fans going and passionate. I'm down for it, but, all the question marks on him, can he do at Liverpool? And like I say, just where's the market at the moment? How are Liverpool dealing with that, with their sporting director looking like he's off? And I just think that Elliot Anderson, great player. I say great player. Let me take that back. I think he's a very good player, and I'm intrigued to see what he can do going to City. But I think the fee paid for him is ridiculous, and especially when they're the team that win all these charges. Again, that's just gone dead quiet. It's like, will anything ever come out about that? What's going to happen with that? But they're whacking that money on there, and they can go do that. But they've got Maresca there. It's not Pep Guardiola that's bringing him in. So interesting, right? And I do think he's a good player. And then what Spurs are doing too, I like the signing Spurs are making. I really like Tonali. They've got Fernandes from West Ham. It's a lot of money for a relegated player. And I think Spurs are kind of fucking the market a little bit as well for people. And even City with that Elliot Anderson buy, it's like all of a sudden you're looking around and these clubs are like, wow, yeah, he's worth this to us. And how do you build teams in this day and age? Like, how do you build a team? Like, it's difficult to even go and get one or two players in a market because they demand so much money. They cost so much money. And there's rules in place, and you can say, well, the rules don't mean shit or whatever they are, but even just your finances, like you can't go and afford every single window to whack £200 million on only a couple of players. And we see so many times with price tags and everything how it works. And again, just kind of honing in on Tonali, like that's someone that I would love Liverpool to have gone in for and got. I think he's a great midfielder. I think he offered you almost kind of everything. And from a Liverpool point of view, I think he would really balance that out in there. But would I pay the 100 for him? I don't think so, but I don't know if I'd pay 100 million for a lot of people, to be honest. So the market's kind of a bit ski-whiff there, and I thought it was going to maybe sort itself out with new rules coming in just over time and clubs operating smarter. But I do think that just because Spurs have gone and made those signings, and I think if they've not spent like 60 million on a defender who's in his last year as well, I forget who they've gone and got, remind me in the comments, but yeah, good signings, and people like Spurs are putting a marker down. I don't know. Big money, big wages. Like, how often have we seen that work? That's kind of that Man United approach after Fergie left. And like, that just doesn't always work as much as I think they're good players. And I like De Zerbi, and it's interesting to see if he's going to be able to really make something of Spurs. I'm not saying they'll be down fighting relegation, again, but I don't think just because they've gone and got those players in their setting and intention that it means it's going to work. I think the fans will be excited about it. I think the fans will like it. I think the players that are there will like it because it's something they've not done for my whole time period, But it just doesn't always work that way. It just does not always work that way. So that's that. Let me know what everyone's thoughts are on Spurs. On the flip side of that, Newcastle losing Tonali, they're in a bit of trouble. And I've said this. I think part of it's not really his fault. I think that it's always a two-way street here, but I felt like Eddie Howe had taken Newcastle really as far as they'd gone. I think these players were like, look, like, I don't just want to just come in and challenge for top four and be in the Champions League one season and out of it another. And once these guys get the taste of it too, like, they don't want to fall out of that. And I always thought for Eddie Howe it was going to be very difficult for him to go any further. And that's Isak gone last summer, that's Gordon gone, that's Tonali gone. Don't know about anyone else. There's talks of Bruno Gomes going to Arsenal, would totally suit them, I think, to a T. That would be a good signing. Again, depends how much they want for him. And you've got the money in the bank, Newcastle, but can you box clever and get these signings in that are actually going to help your team? And the fans will obviously already be starting off on a low and probably not with a lot of trust with losing these players. So it's just everything completely starts a clean slate. It's a completely new thing for the season ahead. I can't wait.